Texas Rangers have been a part of the cultural fabric here in the Metroplex for the past 30 years. And baseball has been a part of America's past for 150 years, dating back even to the Civil War. And here in the Legends of the Game Museum, one can get a great feel of the immense amounts of time and passion that have gone into this game over the past 150 years. Exhibits which are on loan from the Cooperstown Hall of Fame Museum can be seen here in a spectacular display of baseball memorabilia and fantastic items which one wouldn't get to see anywhere else.
We've got the Legends of the Game. The museum's fantastic. They've got some great stuff there. It's not just Ranger stuff. They've got all sorts of stuff from baseball past.
Ask the young people, who's this gentleman right here? His first name is Nolan Ryan. They know who Nolan Ryan is. I'll ask them, how many no-hitters did he have? And some will probably say, you know, and if they don't, I'll just say, how many did he have? 7. 7 no-hitters, that's right. I always ask the kids, who is this gentleman right here? And they'll say, well, I don't know. It stands for Mudville. Right here.
Oh, okay.
Reading the story in Mudville. And the last line in the story reads, there's no joy in Mudville tonight because Casey has struck out. Mm-hmm. This is Casey. This is Casey at the bat. Over here, I always ask the young people, do you collect trading cards? And everybody will say, yes. I'll say, if you had this one here and you sold it, you'd be able to buy your parents or your teachers or something very nice. That's one of the very first Babe Ruth cards right there. Yeah. And over here, speaking of Babe Ruth, we have Babe Ruth's uniform. We have his bat right here. Back then, they used to wear the number that corresponded to where they batted in the order. For example, he batted third, Lou Gehrig batted fourth, Joe DiMaggio batted fifth, 3, 4, 5, and the whole bit. And by the way, the other thing also about this uniform is that the Yankees went to pinstripes when Babe Ruth joined the team because he was a rather large, portly man, and stripes are supposed to be slimming. And they kept the pinstripes. Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's worked out well for them.
Over here we have some of the early trading cards here, going back to the early 1900s here, 40s, 50s. Back then they came out of cigarette packs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Now, where are the armed guards standing, preventing some young 10-year-old collector from coming?
Well, they're here salivating.
Lunging.
Yeah. We've got some to go back to the 1800s around over here. This is dedicated to the umpires here. To the young people, I always like to point out this picture up here and say, is that man safe or out? Look at the umpires. One's calling him out, and the other one's calling him safe. Yeah. They confer in a case like that, and what they do is the man in the back prevailed. Yeah. He was out. Now, one of the components within the Smithsonian is it's obviously the sports, because sports are part of the history of the United States, this country, okay? And what they're letting us do is bring some of the material down here of individuals in other sports, okay? And hopefully there's a plan or a wish to expand this into its own museum at some point in time. We shall see. If you're into boxing, this is the robe that Muhammad Ali wore when he defeated Foreman. And here, the soccer players right here, look up to Pele, Terry Bradshaw, when he won the Super Bowl.
One of the unique exhibits here at the Legends of the Game Museum is the Children's Learning Center, which can be found on the 3rd floor. And in that Children's Center, you can find a variety of exhibits which talk about the science and the history behind the game of baseball.
Over here, for example, in this particular area here, what we have is you have a booth that came from Yankee Stadium right here. And the kids can go in there, relive a little bit of the past, selling tickets. But this booth is one of those that's in that mural right there. And right over there where it says Rodriguez, that's an interesting one right there. You can see where Pudge is squatting down. Yeah. You put your hand on top of the glove, push the buttons there, and you can catch a fastball from Nolan Ryan if you'll hit the glove. Huh. Yeah.
The Children's Center here at the Legends of the Game Museum hosts a variety of exhibits about the science and the history behind the game of baseball. You have exhibits like this one which show you how baseballs are put together, other exhibits which explain what a sweet spot is on a bat. Now, there's an intimate relationship between baseball and science. Matter of fact, it's physics that dictates how balls and bats come together and balls fly through the air. As a matter of fact, it takes a certain combination of variables to come together to hit a home run. Most of it centers around conservation of momentum. Mass times velocity, the mass of the bat, the mass of the ball, and the velocity of the bat. And that all depends on how the two come together. Obviously, if they're not square, if they're at any angle to each other, then that's proportionally less. So it takes a lot of physics to go into getting that ball over the home run fence.